Welcome to Express News. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with our top story. Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has decided to depute two high-level multidisciplinary teams to Kerala and Maharashtra to collaborate with the state health authorities in instituting public health measures for COVID-19 management. At a time when almost all states and union territories are showing a declining trend in number of cases and deaths due to COVID-19, Kerala and Maharashtra continue to report large number of cases. At present, these two states alone are contributing to almost 70% active COVID-19 cases in the country. The central team to Maharashtra comprises of experts drawn from National Centre for Disease Control and Dr. RML Hospital, New Delhi. The Kerala team shall comprise of senior officials from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare along with experts from Regional Office of Health and Family Welfare, Thiruvananthapuram and Lady Hardinge Medical College, New Delhi. The team shall work closely with the state health departments, take a stock on ground situation and recommend necessary public health interventions to contain the large number of cases being reported by these states. India's daily new cases continue to follow a consistent downward slope. After reaching a high of 95,735 on 10 September 2020, they have dropped to 8,635 today, lowest in 8 months. India's average daily new cases also show a clear downward slip in the last 5 weeks. It was 18,934 in the 30th December 2020 to 5th January 2021 period. The average daily new cases have reduced to 12,772 in the 27th January to 2nd February 2021 timeline. Also, in another significant development, the country has reported less than 100 daily deaths in the last 24 hours, lowest in 8.5 months. 100 deaths were recorded last on 15th May 2020. The average daily deaths in the last 5 weeks also show a similar downward slide. The average daily deaths in the 27th January to 2nd February 2021 phase is 128 in contrast to 242 average daily deaths recorded in the 30th December 2020 to 5th January 2021 period. The country's active case load has also shrunk further to 1.63 lakh today. The present active case load now consists of just 1.52% of India's total positive cases. India's cumulative recoveries stand at 1.04 crore today. The recovery rate is 97.05%. As on 2nd February 2021 till 8 am, total of 39.50 lakh beneficiaries have received the vaccination under the countrywide COVID-19 vaccination exercise. Also, in the last 24 hours, 1,91,313 healthcare workers were vaccinated across 3,516 sessions. 72,731 sessions have been conducted so far. 13,423 patients have recovered and discharged in the last 24 hours. 85.09% of the new recovered cases are observed to be concentrated in 10 states and union territories. Kerala has reported the maximum number of single-day recoveries with 5,215 newly recovered cases. 3,289 people recovered in Maharashtra in the past 24 hours, followed by 520 in Chhattisgarh. 80.10% of the daily new cases are from 6 states and union territories. Kerala reports highest daily new cases at 3,459. It is followed by Maharashtra with 1,948, while Tamil Nadu reported 502 new cases. 94 fatalities have been recorded in the last 24 hours. 5 states and union territories account for 65.96% of the daily deaths. Maharashtra saw the maximum casualties. Kerala follows with 17 daily deaths and Tamil Nadu reported 7 casualties. 16 states and union territories have not reported any deaths in the last 24 hours. Rajya Sabha was adjourned for the day today after repeated disruptions without transacting substantial business. Opposition created an uproar demanding discussion on the issue of farmers' protest over the 3 new farm bills. Ruckus witnessed in Lok Sabha also over farm laws. Opposition raised slogans. The World Wetlands Day is being observed today. The day is dedicated to raising global awareness about the vital role of wetlands for people and the planet Earth. Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar tweeted saying India is one of the few countries in the world to have a wetland inventory system wherein remote sensing techniques have been used to map the wetlands. We have 42 sites designated as wetlands of international importance. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh today inaugurated Hindustan Aeronautics Limited's Tejas Light Combat Aircraft's second production line in Bengaluru. The indigenously designed 4.5 generation light combat aircraft Tejas is the lightest and smallest fly-by-wire multi-role combat aircraft. The Raksha Mantri also said the government is committed to make India self-reliant in the field of defence technology and manufacturing. He exuded confidence that in the next 3-4 years, India will achieve the target of rupees 1.75 lakh crores in the field of defence manufacturing. NIA to probe Delhi blast case near Israel embassy. MHA has handed over the probe to NIA. The Ministry of Home Affairs has issued an order to hand over the case to NIA. Delhi Police Commissioner S.N. Srivastava visited DCP office Outer District Pitampura to meet injured police personnel during violence on January 26th. He hailed the patience shown by Delhi police personnel. He added that we have to keep ourselves strong and prepare by focusing on intelligence reports and sticking to strategy and ideas. Shiromani Akali Dal President Sukhbir Singh Badal's vehicle was attacked today in Jalalabad, Punjab. They have blamed Congress for the attack. The budget day momentum continued for the second straight session with the BSE Sensex ending below the 50,000 mark at 49,797.72 and the NSE Nifty settled at 14,647.85. All the BSE sectoral indices ended in the green with financial and capital goods indices soaring up more than 3%. Gold prices fell for the second consecutive session on Tuesday. On MCX, gold April futures were seen trading at rupees 48,380 per 10 gram, down rupees 340 or 0.70%. Silver prices tanked to rupees 70,790 per kg as participants trimmed their positions as seen by the open interest. The precious metal gained 9.3% on Monday to touch the highest level since 2013 on the COMEX. India's exports have shown a year-on-year growth of 5.37% to touch $27.24 billion in the first month of 2021 as per provisional data of the Commerce Industry Ministry, This is attributed to a growth in pharmaceuticals and engineering sectors, exports for which grew about 16.4%. The rupee opened on a flat note and rose marginally by 1 paisa to 73.01 despite a weak dollar on Tuesday. Traders remain cautious ahead of Reserve Bank of India monetary policy outcome to be announced on Friday after the Union Budget announcement. Oil prices rose more than 1% on Tuesday. Brent crude was up 77 cents or 1.4% at $57.12 a barrel. US oil gained 82 cents or 1.5% to $54.37. Both contracts rose more than 2% in the previous session. Petrol and diesel prices in the metros remain unchanged for the sixth consecutive day on Tuesday. In the national capital, the price of petrol remained unchanged at Rs 86.30 per litre and diesel was steady at Rs 76.48 per litre. Meanwhile, in Mumbai, the petrol and diesel prices remained at Rs 92.86 per litre and Rs 83.30 per litre respectively. BP's fourth quarter profit sank to $115 million, pummeled by continued weak energy demand due to the coronavirus epidemic and weak trading results. On an annual basis, BP sank to a loss of $5.7 billion, its first in a decade after it wrote down the value of oil and gas assets by $6.5 billion as a result of sharply lowering its long-term energy prices. ASOS has bought the Topshop, Topman, Miss Selfridge and HIIT brands from the administrators of Philip Green's collapsed Arcadia Group for £265 million. The deal for Arcadia's prized brands does not include its 70 stores, putting thousands of jobs at risk and underlining the transfer of power towards online retailers. Ryanair said it may lose close to €1 billion in its current financial year, but Europe's largest low-cost carriers said the crisis would create significant growth opportunities. The Irish Airlines said it expects to post a loss of between 850 and 950 million euros in its current financial year, which ends on March 31st. As of now, more than 10 crore 40 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide. The global death toll due to coronavirus has crossed 20 lakh and 49,000. Over 7 crore 58 lakh people have recovered from the virus. The United States continues to remain the worst hit country by the pandemic so far and has reported over 2 crore 69 lakh cases of the virus, with the death toll surging past 4 lakh 54,000. Austria Chancellor Sebastian Kurz on Monday said the country will tighten its border controls to prevent arrivals from importing new variants of the virus. All arrivals into France from outside the European Union are banned except for essential travel, and all visitors from EU nations must show a negative COVID-19 test except cross-border workers and truckers. The United Kingdom has begun community testing for the South African variant of coronavirus. Several cases of the variant first identified in South Africa were recorded in England. A team of investigators led by the World Health Organization arrived at Animal Health Facility in China's central city of Wuhan in search for clues about the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The team has already visited key hospitals, regional disease control center and the city's Wannan seafood market, where the first cluster of infections was believed to have originated late in 2019. Under Vaccine Maitri, vaccine consignments have reached Dubai. Vaccine consignments have reached Dubai, as we told you, and earlier consignments of Made in India vaccines have reached Algeria and South Africa. The government of Bangladesh signed an agreement with the World Bank for the upgradation of rural roads and connectivity in the western region. The project is expected to benefit over 20 million people in the western region of Bangladesh. Hundreds of members of Myanmar's parliament remain confined inside their government housing in the country's capital today, a day after the military staged a coup and detained senior politicians, including Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi. The coup has been roundly condemned internationally. A few dozen protesters gathered at the United Nations building in Bangkok on Tuesday to demonstrate against the recent military coup in Myanmar. Protesters stood clenching Myanmar's National League for Democracy party flags and portraits of detained state councillor Aung San Suu Kyi. The United States has threatened to reimpose sanctions against Myanmar in view of the seizure of power by the military and detention of the Aung San Suu Kyi and other leaders of the civilian government. India has also issued an advisory to Indian citizens in Myanmar to avoid unnecessary travel to Myanmar and take due precautions in the wake of the recent developments. Also, Air India flight on Yangon-New Delhi road has also been rescheduled. In Western Australia, bushfire raging has forced nearby residents to evacuate as the city remains in a coronavirus lockdown. Authorities say they believe at least 30 homes have been destroyed in the blaze north of the city, which has so far scorched over 7,000 hectares. Stronger winds and a run of hot days have fueled the fire. Perth is enduring 35 degrees Celsius temperature. Western Australia's Premier has said the state is facing dual emergencies. Indian-American Bhavya Lal has been appointed by NASA as the acting chief of the staff of the US Space Agency. Bhavya Lal served as a member of the Biden Presidential Transition Agency review team for NASA and oversaw the agency's transition under the administration of President Joe Biden. Greek restorer Venizelos uses microscopes, cotton swabs and a delicate touch to bring artifacts back to life in churches in Istanbul. The latest job, restoring artifacts including a 16th century depiction of the Transfiguration of Jesus Christ, took longer than planned. Gavri Lakis say the restoration is meant to send a message of unity. Giant pandas in Washington DC's Smithsonian National Zoo were seen having a happy time as they slipped, tumbled and rolled in the snow. Female panda Mi Jiang and male Tian Tian enjoyed the first snowstorm of the season. A blanketing of snow prompted a sense of play in parts of the East Coast, where revelers could be seen engaging It snowballs fights in Washington and Virginia. Students at Virginia Tech crowded the quad to hurl snowballs. The Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation has won Sweden's Olof Palme Human Rights Prize. The award ceremony hosted in Stockholm was held online when founder Patrice Cullors accepted the award. Classic and vintage cars brought a touch of extra style and nostalgia to Paris when around 700 vehicles of various eras took part in the 21st winter crossing of the French capital. A variety of vehicles, including cars, buses, motorcycles, mopeds, and even tractors, could be seen driving across the city. A Russian granny, aged 79, living alone on the banks of the famous Baikal Lake, has carried her passion for skating through all her life and continues now. She takes to the ice every day, tightly tying skates roughly the same age as her to felt boots. Sitting in a public park in Cairo's famous Azhar Park, a group of people take to laughter to rid themselves of the day-to-day stress amid the collective strain of the coronavirus pandemic. A 57-year-old German wellness coach who has been living in Cairo for 20 years leads a laughter yoga session, training her group to laugh without relying on humorous situations. In Malaysia, over 230 paintings were exhibited in the Impiana Arts Exhibition and Bazaar. The Malay Islamic monarchy-based painting exhibition is held jointly by experienced local painters as well as two young female painters. The exhibition is open to the public daily. In Vietnam, a unique market remains in news as its unique culture continues to attract residents. The market is the perfect place for those who want to experience the cultural beauty of hill tribe markets, purchase homegrown agricultural products, and try homemade dishes. In another province of Vietnam, farmers have turned normal fruits into special ones with added value. As the Lunar New Year, also known as Tet holiday, is fast approaching, the farmers here have learned to create messages on the skin of a new product, green pomelo with apricot blossom. In order to earn more during the festive season, farmers are not missing any opportunity. In a philanthropic gesture, the needy are being fed and various necessities are made available to them in several departmental stores of Seoul. Financially struggling residents are eligible to use the shops, which are intended to detect those in need and ensure they receive help. All items sold here are provided voluntarily by local businesses, merchants, and residents. Sports now. The International Cricket Council today announced the nominees for the inaugural ICC Player of the Month awards. The ICC Men's Player of the Month January nominees are Rishabh Pant of India, Joe Root of England, and Paul Sterling of Ireland. Rishabh Pant played 2 tests against Australia, where he scored a 97 at Sydney to ensure a draw before an unbeaten 89 at Brisbane that led India to a historic series win against arch rivals Australia. All the members of India and England team completed their quarantine and cleared all the tests for coronavirus as both teams prepare for the first test beginning in Chennai from February 5th. All members also returned negative results for the 3 coronavirus tests that they had undergone during their quarantine period. The team's net sessions have begun today. The second India-England test in Chennai will not be played behind closed doors as the BCCI has informally given permission to the Tamil Nadu Cricket Association to open its gates for spectators up to a 50% capacity. Former Australian great Ian Chappell says that the India-England series will come down to a battle of the top orders. He also said the upcoming India versus England test series has the potential to be an enticing contest similar in intensity to the one recently completed in Australia. Chappell said India will start as favourites after victory over Australia, overcoming all obstacles. Likewise, England can point to improvements they can make to the side that won convincingly in Sri Lanka. Serena Williams says she may not have been able to play in the Australian Open had it not been pushed back by 3 weeks. The first Grand Slam of the year was delayed to allow players to quarantine. Serena Williams, chasing a record equaling 24th major singles title next week, said she needed the extra time to fully recover from an Achilles injury sustained at the US Open in September. Liverpool have completed a loan deal for Schalke's Turkey central defender Ozan Kabak. The 20-year-old joins the Reds until the end of the season, with the club also having signed Ben Davies. Liverpool have an option to buy Kabak with add-on clauses at the end of the season, but do not need to activate it until June. For now, they will pay a loan fee with the potential for an extra fee based on games played. Liverpool centre-back Joel Matip will miss the rest of the season with an ankle ligament injury. The former Cameroon international suffered the problem during the 3-1 win over Tottenham last Thursday. Matip was injured in a challenge with Tottenham striker Son Heung-min. He injured his ankle and played the game on and now is out for the season. Everton have signed striker Joshua King from Championship side Bournemouth on a deal until the end of the season. King joined Bournemouth in 2015 and his contract was due to expire at the end of the 2020-2021 season. Joshua King deal is believed to be a 6-month contract with an option to extend it at the end of the campaign. Bournemouth are 6th in the Championship this season and King has failed to find the net in 12 league matches. Southampton have completed a late move to sign Liverpool's Takumi Minamino on loan for the rest of the season. The Saints announced the signing of the Japan forward 2 hours after Monday's deadline. Minamino joined Liverpool from Red Bull Salzburg in January 2020, but he has been on the periphery at Anfield, making just 4 Premier League starts since his arrival. Southampton turned to Minamino after being frustrated with other moves. Arsenal defender Shkodran Mustafi has completed his move to Schalke after terminating his contract in the Emirates. The German international returns to his homeland as a replacement for Ozan Kabak. Mustafi, who joined Arsenal from Valencia in 2016, had fallen out of favour until Mikel Arteta and had only featured 9 times in all competitions. Newcastle United have confirmed the signing of Arsenal midfielder Joe Willock on loan for the rest of the season. The signing of Willock gives the Magpies the added depth in their midfield that they wanted. Rock singer Marilyn Manson was dropped by his record label after Westworld TV and film actress Evan Rachel Wood said that the Manson horrifically abused me for years. Wood, who dated Manson from around 2007 and was briefly engaged to him in 2010, made the accusation in an Instagram post. 3 other women also posted accusations on Instagram against Manson of emotional and psychological abuse in the last 10 years. Meanwhile, Manson's record label said that in light of disturbing allegations by Wood and other women, the company will cease to further promote his current album effective immediately. Singer Tony Bennett has revealed that he is battling Alzheimer's disease. The singer was officially diagnosed in 2016 and has kept his battle private until now. Country singer-songwriter Chris Christopherson has quietly retired from touring after more than 50 years in the music business. The news comes a year after the Me and Bobby McGee singer played his last gig on the Outlaw Country Cruise in the Caribbean in January 2020. Oscar winner Gary Oldman goes back to 1930s Hollywood in Netflix film Mank, playing screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz as he pens Citizen Kane. Oldman seems delighted on the rise of streaming. Black Panther director and co-writer Ryan Coogler is developing a streaming television series set in the movie's fictional futuristic kingdom of Wakanda. The new series of the Disney Plus streaming service will be created as part of a 5-year television deal with Coogler's Proximity Media production company. Scandinavia's biggest film festival is going ahead this year despite coronavirus pandemic. A Swedish nurse and film fan, Lisa Enroth, has been chosen from 12,000 applicants to be the 2021 Gothenburg Film Festival's castaway, who will spend a week alone on the remote island of Hamnesker watching film after film with not even a mobile phone for company. Week alone on deserted island watching movies. Also, the Coachella Music Festival, which was scheduled to be held in Southern California in April this year, has been cancelled by local health officials. It was the 3rd time the outdoor event had been cancelled or postponed because of the pandemic. Britain's Prince Harry has won an apology and substantial damages from the publishers of the Mail after he sued the tabloid for libel over claims he had turned his back on the military when he ended his royal role. The paper had agreed to pay damages which Harry would donate to the Invictus Games. Valentino headed to Rome for its haute couture show Skipping Paris as France's COVID restriction prevented fashion houses from mounting its usual catwalk shows at the 14th Century Palazzo Colonna's Great Hall. Models strutted in voluminous neon skirts and bejeweled dresses with bold silhouettes. Well, that's all we have in Express News. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.